Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start notes for chapter 1. Now, there again, these notes, as with every chapter, are going to really only be briefings. There again, you're not going to be able to take all your notes and have everything you need. All right, these notes are just basically hitting the high points of the chapter. The notes are beneficial, but there again, the textbook is most beneficial. So this is just to sort of maybe provide exposition on some of the topics that chapter 1 through chapter 42 would include. So there again, don't bank on the notes being verbatim what you need. That's not the case. So we try to get through these notes just as quick as we can. Some of these chapters are very, very lengthy as far as notes. Times we'll spend the entire class period just taking notes. So make sure that you are proactive as far as note taking is concerned. We're going to try to get through this chapter here within 2 or 3 day period and move on to chapter 2. So the goal is to not spend very long in period 1. Period 1 consisting of chapter 1 and chapter 2. We'll get about halfway through these notes today. I think there's 35 slides. We'll get through about stop at the 17th. When you come into class tomorrow, we'll pick up from 17 and move forward. So Friday we want to be concluded with chapter 1 notes. Please remember all assignments for chapter 1 starting yesterday or today, so to speak. You'll have to have that assignments turned in by Monday. Okay, so guided reading's got to be done by Monday. Your primary source document has to be done by Monday. And we're going to start working on this group project as far as the Mesoamerican project is concerned. So you need to start working on some of that. You need to start collaborating with groups. All right, in the meantime, we're going to take about 25-30 minutes here to go through about half these notes. All right, so this chapter 1 is talking about the New World beginnings. All right, so we're going to talk about the shaping of North America. Now, you need to remember that recorded history began 6,000 years ago. It was 500 years ago that Europeans set foot on Americas to begin colonization. All right, so what particular theory do we go with? Now, you can agree, you can disagree with the theory of Pangea, the idea that you see here. Pangea exists, and the suggestion behind it is that the continents were once nestled together into one megacontinent that you would see right here. All right. They then, over time, would spread out as drifting islands. Geological forces, they say, of continental plates created the Appalachian and Rocky Mountains. The Great Ice Age then thrust down over North America and basically allowed a passage, so to speak. So there again, that is only a theory. So do with that as you will. All right, so make sure you get notes down for that. There's just some more imagery that you see here. All right, I may have to help out just a little bit. Some of this is, these notes are on a PDF, not PowerPoint presentation. So they may, not show all the note here. But anyway, so the first discoverers of America, how and why did they come? All right, so what we're referring to here is their usage of the land bridge. Ice Age caused drop in sea level, therefore creating a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska about 35 years ago. Now, the theory holds that a land bridge emerged linking Asia and North America across what's today the Bering Sea. People were said to have walked across the bridge before the sea level rose and sealed it off, and thus populated the Americas. The land bridge is suggested as occurring and estimated, there again, 35 years ago. Okay, many of your Native American, your Asian would be able then to populate, as you see on the map here. Okay, so there again, this makes this accessible through the theory of the land bridge. Okay, and you're going to have many peoples here going in many different directions. Okay, so we're talking about Central and South America, who are the big three. The big three as far as these Mesoamerican tribes are concerned. Of course, you do have Mayans, you have Aztecs, you have Incas. The Incas was mainly in Peru with elaborate network of roads, bridges linking their empire. The Mayas established the Yucatan Peninsula with their step pyramids. Aztecs, predominantly in Mexico with step pyramids, huge sacrifices of conquered people. Those were your big three Mesoamerican tribes. What made these groups stand out from the others? They were advanced in astronomy, math, medicine, architecture, and they were larger civilizations. There were a wide variety of social, political, economic structures. Of course, as they interacted, they had one thing in common, and that was sort of their religion. A lot of their religion was connecting with nature. This is referred to as animism. Plants and animals have a spiritual essence about them. All right, so most of your Mesoamerican tribes were symmetric when it come to religion and animism, okay, whereas they varied as far as social, political, and economic structures. They were vastly different. So we're not going to go into great detail as far as these Mesoamerican tribes because that is your assignment. Your assignment is to delve into these particular tribes, and you will create your own PowerPoint presentation for that. Okay, so we of course will move on. What product allowed for permanent settlements for Native Americans? All right, one big thing here that is found in all of these particular tribes is the development of corn, or we refer to as maize, around 5000 BC in Mexico, and it was very revolutionary. Revolutionary in that then people didn't have to be hunter-gatherers. They could settle down and be farmers. This fact gave rise to towns and then cities. Corn arrived in the present-day United States around 1200 BC. Okay, so corn was a staple crop for all of these Mesoamerican tribes. Okay, methods of subsistence in the early Americas. There again, subsistence farming. What we refer to when we use that term is farming. It basically is farming for survival. It's not commercial. It's not farming so you can sell. It's of course, to be able to live off of. Okay, so there again, this is just a visual here to show you, the intensive farming, hunting, gathering, and fishing. Okay, that's just to show you, the different looks here. I think as far as the corn was concerned, the Pueblos were the first American corn growers. They lived in adobe-type houses, dried mud homes. Pueblos are villages of cubicle-shaped adobe houses stacked on one on top of the other and often beneath cliffs. They had elaborate irrigation systems to draw water away from rivers to grow the particular corn. Okay, one thing that was utilized as far as these Mesoamerican tribes was the three sister farming. Really, it was the Eastern Indians who grew corn, beans, and squash in a collaborative manner. Corn grew in a stalk, providing a trellis for beans. Beans grew up the stalk. Squash broadleaves kept the sun off the ground and thus kept the moisture in the soil. Okay, so that was, there again, the method of the three sister farming. And the Eastern Indians, this particular group likely had the best, most diverse diet of all North American Indians and is typified by the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, and the Iroquois. And so there again, this was a notable way of being able to grow all three products and sort of be beneficial one toward another. So this really helped increase the diet, therefore increasing health and really adding to the population here. Okay, so make sure you are fully aware of the operations or functions of the Three Sister Farming. Okay, so the question is asking, why is 1492 inaccurate when giving credit for discovering America? The first Europeans come to America were the Norse, basically Vikings from Norway. Around 1000 AD, the Vikings landed, led by Eric the Red and Leif Erikson. They would land in Newfoundland or Vinland because of all the vines. However, these men left America and left no written record and therefore didn't get the credit. The only record is found in Vikings sagas or songs. Okay. Okay, there is evidence that suggests that the Chinese may have been in Mexico and Canada by the 5th century AD. Okay, so that of course needs to be implemented as well. All right, so why this picture is here, I didn't make these notes, but why this picture is here that covers up, some notable content, I have no idea. I don't understand that. But nevertheless, the Christian Crusaders of Middle Ages fought in Palestine to regain the Holy Land from Muslims. The mixing of East and West created a sweet tooth where Europeans wanted the spices of the exotic East. And basically this information that I'm giving you here is what is on the notes, but it's covered up. Europeans would enter Africa. Individuals like Marco Polo would travel to China and start up a storm of European interest mixed with desire for spices. And east to west, trade flourished, but had to be over land, at least in part. This initiated new exploration down around Africa in hopes of an easier all-water route. Okay. So there again, this creates a vying for land, if you will. Not just land, but there again, an explosion of technology to increase better means of travel. And who had the jump on that, of course, was Portugal at the time. Portugal would literally start a sailing school to find better ways to get to the Spice Islands, eventually rounding Africa's southern Cape of Good Hope. Portugal would be noted for the development of the caravel, basically a ship with a triangular sail. These are just images here. I'll just go through those as we talk about the notes. Caravel, a ship with triangular sail that could better tack zigzag ahead into the wind and thus return to Europe from the African coast. A compass was noted by the Portuguese, all right, as well. All right, then the astrolabe would be implemented as well, and this would be able to help explorers be able to tell the ship's latitude, okay, that you see here. Okay, so how did Portugal alter the future of travel and trade? There again, I just mentioned it to you there as far as their technological advancements with that caravel, much quicker to travel. You see Portugal's routes here, okay, coming down this way. A new route that they are finding, so this makes them with an advantage to get to those Spice Islands. So credit the Portuguese for that. So you add the caravel, you add the compass, you add the astrolabe, and it makes their ability to travel much better. Okay. So really at this time frame, when it comes to exploration in the 1450s, the Portuguese has the advantage almost on everybody. These are just some images that you see here as far as exploration and routes, etc. All right, guys, so there again, those are just some short notes here. This is just to start to ease our way in a little bit to, notes and so forth. We want to do our best to try to keep it engaging and open discussion and things like that. But that's just a couple of notes there that, you know, you can go ahead and get started with. There again, make sure that you are up to where we are here for tomorrow, because when you come in tomorrow, we will, you know, go through the course of those notes. These notes will be videoed for tomorrow for your viewing pleasure. So go ahead after these notes, go ahead and, you know, collaborate with, you know, the group that you want to get with. Go ahead and be working on that group project. Individually speaking to the primary source document, and start with that guided reading. My advice with guided reading would be to you know, work on it a little at a time. That way you're not, you know, dealing with all of it, you know, in one evening, okay? So there's just a little couple of notes there, and we will start to see y'all again tomorrow and Friday. Have a great day.